Greetings, people of the internet. My name is Big Mo, and it is my honor to welcome you to the hardest hitting, full of ranting, most entertaining show in the world. This is the Dave Van Auken Show!
What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast 377. I'm Dave Van Auken. Packed show, guys. Yesterday, every Tuesday, 1 to 3, live on our Fight Bananas official YouTube channel. We go live, multiple hours, multiple guests. Great show. The funnest 2 hours I have each and every week. So later on, probably around 15 minutes, 12 minutes from now, we're going to have Danny Sabatello. He was on yesterday. Great interview. Just went over in Rizin, but what a great character, communicator. Literally one of the best in the MMA of, talking that Riz that the kids say. But Danny Sabatello coming on in a couple minutes, episode 377 right now. But of course, after we got off air, a couple hours later, I had the Suns basketball practice. I'm so happy Dana White did this an hour before the practice. He cooked for us, guys. He absolutely cooked. Dana White cooked up the summer grill for you, me, and everyone else. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I got some highs and some lows, some underrated things he did as well in there. But first and foremost, I'm going to get into it because I have been talking about it probably pushing around 3-4 weeks now, that every week, every year on the UFC calendar, International Fight Week, to me, is there in a way right now. It might not be true, but to me, at least, it's their Super Bowl. It's their WrestleMania. It's the week that the whole community goes out there in Las Vegas, and, the convention center is awesome. You do interviews and meet and greets. It's a great time. I was actually out there 2 years ago. It's a great time. People are everywhere. Every, casino, hotel you go to in Vegas, there's just the lobbies are just awesome. It's a fun time. So we were getting this UFC landscape of the spring, and we still didn't get the main event of UFC 317, June 28th. And this yesterday at May 13th to June 28th is not a long time, especially in the fight game, especially in the promotional game, and especially in the, this is the big pay-per-view of the year, big pay-per-view of the summer game. It was all weighed in, and we talked about it on the UFC 315 main event. Jack Della Maddalena, Bilal Muhammad, JDM is our new welterweight champion. There's moving pieces with Ilya moving up and Islam maybe moving up and down. And are they going to fight each other? Are they going to fight different opponents? A lot of moving parts. JDM wins. They take Sunday off. They probably were starting to dot some I's and cross some T's on Monday and Tuesday, as in yesterday. We got it all. Main event, UFC 317, International Fight Week. Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria for the vacant, for the undisputed, unified UFC lightweight championship. I love that. I love it. I love the main event. I don't mind. A lot of people I seem like are upset that we're not getting the Islam versus Topuria. For one, we can still get it in the future. We can still get it. But two is, to me, is Islam wants to move up. He wants to go for a new goal, new opportunity. We all know this. Doesn't want to cut the weight anymore. That was his biggest fight. It wasn't the opponents. It was the weight cut, the months in advance, the week, that night. Doesn't want to do it anymore. And he is probably, Jones comes and goes. Guys, Islam is the best fighter that we've had under the UFC banner for the last 3 to 5 years. He's our George St. Pierre. He is our Khabib Nurmagomedov. Guys, he is our best pound for pound fighter alive. He is. It is what it is. So if he wants to move up, let's go. Let's do it. So with that all being said, they said, hey, UFC 317, this is what we're going to get. We're going to get that as the main event. I love it. Co-main event, I'm a huge Pantoja guy. Like the main event, not love it, to be honest. Kai Car France, there just doesn't seem a lot of buzz on it. It just seems like, you know what I mean? So that's our co-main event. Where I think 317, there's other good fights on the card. I'm going to get into it here in a second. Let me see. A lot of moving pieces right now, guys. I'm sorry. We got Cap versus Brandon Royval. That's a good fight. Right? We got Benny DeRouche in that rematch versus Moicano. I like that fight. That's a good fight. Hermanson versus RoboCop. Give me that. Take that. Where they, to me, miss the ball or don't hit expectations, I always say this. On a big pay-per-view, where I usually judge you is the featured fight. Most pay-per-views, or especially those 3-4 big ones a year, we're going to get the main event. Oliveira, Topuria, Merab, O'Malley. We're going to get the main event for a championship match. JDM versus Bilal. We're going to get the main event. Then comes usually the co-main, and it's usually a lesser title. Most of the time, let's just be honest, it's a female title or a lower weight title, and sometimes they stack it. They can go heavyweight, light heavyweight. They've done that before, right? So if it's got no buzz on it, but it's a championship fight, they give us that in the co-main. So again, I don't mind this. The main event is A. The co-main event's a B. I'm a big Pantoja guy. So I'm happy with that. But that featured fight, guys, we've had Ian Gary and Shavkat Rakhmonov in that featured fight. We've had Poirier bangers in that featured fight. To me, the featured fight will kind of put us on, is this a packed, stacked pay-per-view? Is this going to be an all-timer? And the featured fight of UFC 317 is Costa versus Roman Kopylov in the middleweight division. Number 12 versus number 14. I didn't even know they ranked that high at 14. And again, sometimes it's not even about ranking. Sometimes it's the buzz of the fight. I've seen fights that are two unranked guys, but the buzz is incredible. Imagine 3 years ago, we would have got Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria, two unranked guys, but it would have been incredible. We all would have known that back then. This fight has no buzz. I didn't even know they disliked each other, or I didn't even know, they were rumored to fight each other. And then, of course, the elephant in the room, it's Paulo Costa. We all know that this fight is probably not going to happen. Percentages, look on his Topology. There's a ton of C's, canceled fights. So I'm just, it's a spade to spade. It's a weak. It's a top 2, top 3 featured fight on a pay-per-view. Check them out, guys. I'm telling you. Main event, co-main, usually A, B, could be B, C, could be an AC. That featured fight is where the pay-per-view, to me, dollars are and are not. So, weak featured fight for 317. Card's good. Like I said, we got Charles and Ilya. I'm happy. So happy. We all knew UFC 318. We all know Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. New Orleans, July 19th. Love it. Can't wait to fill out that card. I know Brendan Allen and then Marvin Vittori's on it. Myself and Fight Banaz, we might be in the building. It's Dustin's last dance. Pretty excited about it, to be brutally honest. It's something I'm looking into right now as a company and a person. I want to be there. So that's that. The cook, the butter of all this is, someone's calling me. Nope, not talking to you. The butter of all this, the thing that really got me, because of course it's talked about, but until you see it and feel it, you don't know. August 16th, UFC 319, Chicago, Illinois. Give me this. For one, Vegas, New Orleans, Chicago. Let's go, America. We got the summer pay-per-view schedule out. I love New Orleans getting a pay-per-view. I like Chicago getting a pay-per-view. Main event for the UFC Middleweight Championship. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Take all the money. Take it all. I look, Ilya moving up is so intriguing. He might be the best fighter that we have fighting for a championship. Charles, God, how can you not love Charles? You have Dustin Poirier's Last Dance. One of probably your favorite fighter, my favorite fighter. But the next month, I don't know why, and I don't know why I'm so damn attractive to it. Dricus du Plessis and Chimaev for the middleweight championship. Just take all the money. Take it. We will be doing a watch-along. We will be doing fight breakdowns, interviews all week long in Fight Bonanza. We'll be creating content for UFC 319. I'm so excited for that. So excited. So, to me, Dana White cooked. I know there's rumors out there that they try to get Yuri Prochazka. Like I said, I think they really probably wanted Ankalaev and Yuri to also be in that card of 317 and put that in that pay-per-view and really stack it. 3 championship fights. You can have Charles and Ilya, Ankalaev and Yuri. They wanted Ankalaev and Poatan. Poatan goes, I'm just not ready. It's 6 weeks away. It's too close, not ready. Because he knows if he loses Ankalaev again, that's it for Poatan. That's it for a title fight. So he needs to win that fight. But to us, guys, we cooked. Dana White. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm so excited for the summer. 316's okay. We'll get through it, guys. We'll get through it together. We're crowning Kayla Harrison world champion. We'll get through it. I'm hey, God, I'm a Marab guy. Sugar, I like that fight. I know it's a rematch not a lot of people want to talk about. But after that, we cook during the summer. 17, 18, and 19. Vegas, New Orleans, and Chicago. Topuria, Poirier, Chimaev. Come on. Man, we cook. We cook. All right, guys. Danny Sabatello on the pod. Talk for 15, 20 minutes. That's great. Also, tomorrow, Jacqueline Amorim will be coming on. She is great. And then we're going to have a great conversation with our girl, Jillian Robertson. And then Friday, remember Friday, Banana Blitz, Grant Dawson and L. Dawson. We break down UFC Vegas 106 in our Banana Blitz. We did it, guys. We did it. UFC 317's official. It's in the books. Check it out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dave Van Auken. All right, let's talk to the main man, Danny Sabatello. What this man does is, eat lightning and shit thunder. I don't know. The Italian gangster, Danny Sabatello. He'll do it better than I do. How you doing, Danny?
How we doing, guys?
Good, brother. Doing good, man. Hey, congratulations. Great win. Great win.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a picture-perfect debut in that massive organization. It really couldn't have went smoother. Everything was perfect.
The arena looked absolutely insane. Do you know how many people were in there?
Yeah, they said 50,000 people were there. It was at the Tokyo Dome. It seats 55,000. So I guess it was just under capacity according to the organization. But 50,000 people is just absolutely insane, especially for the sport of MMA.
Danny, I heard 48,826 were there just for you. And, the other 1,200 was for the rest of the card. But 48,000, that's a lot of people, Danny. Congratulations.
Yeah, the other 1,200 probably lied. They were probably here for me also, but they didn't want to admit it.
I mean, I feel like we had this conversation right when you got signed to Rizin, like your character, the hair, the bandana. I was like, oh, like you're going to just take off in Japan and this Asian market. Like what was the reception like going? Because I feel like the Japanese fans, they love the sport. They love the fighters. They're very respectful fans. Like, did you feel like you got the love when you first got to Japan, or was there a little bit of I'm fighting an Asian fighter in Asia?
No, well, for starters, Japan is so respectful to everybody out there. I think whether they really like somebody or don't like somebody, they're such a respectful culture. So it's just how they handle things is just offering respect and showing love to everybody. I think with me specifically, I resonate well over there because they really do love characters. And even though I keep saying I'm not putting on a character, I'm just being myself, I just know that I'm very loud. I know that I'm very different from the culture over there. They're very quiet and very respectful, but with me, I'm very disrespectful to my opponent. So it's very different for them. I know it's different for them. I know that it's going to be the same thing over here where a lot of people are going to love me. A lot of people are going to hate me. But everybody is going to show me respect. And that's really what happened when I got out there. I think right when I signed there, a lot of people already knew who I was, and I pretty much blew up over there. Right when I got off the plane and got to the hotel, there was a bunch of Japanese people already asking me for my autograph, and it was my debut in the organization. So with Japan, they're very intelligent on the sport. They follow it very in depth. They understand what's going on. They understand all the fighters. They understand what I bring to the table. And I think I absolutely blew up over there. I want to be the face of that organization. I want to be a superstar over there. And I think it's going to be a good thing for me and the organization. But yes, I right when I got there, the Japanese fans, they love me. I know a lot of people didn't like me, and they don't really want to say it just because it's not their culture to bash people. But I do think my fight was kind of the most watched, and I felt like the fans were going crazy. I know it was an exciting fight. It was pretty much all on the feet, but I felt like my fight was the premier fight on that card.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was the greatest debut in Rizin history. I can't even think of a second place. It's Danny Sabatello's, finish, and then I don't think nothing's close. Am I right?
Yeah,
Dan?
I agree with everything. You just look at the whole big picture. I'm going up against a Olympic silver medalist in wrestling from Japan, so he's kind of their hometown hero. And then you bring in this American that kind of talks trash, who's very exciting. And then you compound that with a very exciting fight. I think I had the most exciting fight. I think I had the most exciting buildup. And then you have to get that finish to make it even more exciting. I wobbled him a bunch of times. I heard him a bunch of times. I could hear the crowd going wild, which they're not really accustomed to. They usually are pretty silent during the fights. But just the fact that they were going wild and cheering, I think it was just, again, an absolutely perfect debut for me.
I got one more, and then Elle, please take it away. You said you flew over and you got to the hotel. How different was it than, you fought for different promotions here in the States? Was it a major difference, or was it a normal fight week, travel, was it normal? Did you try to make it as normal as possible, I guess?
No, I mean, I kind of just go with the flow, whether something is different or the same. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not really superstitious or kind of have these tendencies that I do. I kind of just do whatever the fuck, and I know it's going to work. And that just comes through my preparation and being overly prepared for all my fights. Whereas, if I have a tough weight cut, if I have a good weight cut, if I'm injured, not injured, either way, I'm going to go out there and win the fight. But I felt like everything was different. Obviously for starters, it's like 14 hours away. So that long plane ride kind of takes it out of you. But not with me, not the Italian gangster. It didn't take it out of me at all. The fight was also at 61 kilograms. They go by kilograms and not pounds over there. So I'm used to making 136, 135 here in America in these promotions, but the exact weight is 134.4. And I haven't made that in years. So you kind of don't know how your body was going to respond to that. My body responded perfectly. So the weight cut was obviously a little bit different. The fans were obviously a little bit different. The organization does things a little bit differently, and they're so awesome and they're so professional. Even on fight day, you go over there very early. Everybody, it doesn't matter if you're the first fight on the card or the main event, everybody goes over there early, and you stay in kind of the back room of the Tokyo Dome. But yeah, I felt like everything was different. Everything was kind of just a little bit more professional, a little fancier, a little bit better. The fans are obviously awesome. They're very nice, and they understand the sport. Obviously you want to go out there and you want to perform for your fans and your family and friends and everything. But when I perform in front of these Japanese people, it makes me want to do just even more because they actually understand the techniques and the skill sets that these fighters are doing. When I talk and interact with these fans, they're actually talking about the skills that I'm doing and actually understanding it. Whereas I feel like here in America, and a lot of times people are just screaming, punch his head off, kick his head off. The Japanese fans, even when I read online, because I like to do that sometimes, they're understanding the setups and the techniques. So it just makes it even more fun. It makes me want to be better at my craft because they're understanding exactly what I'm doing.
You brought up this esteemed wrestler from Japan. Obviously, you've always been known for your wrestling. This was your first TKO finish since, I think, 2019 was your last one. So it's been a few years. Did you feel like, was it like, well, this guy's a wrestler, I'm usually a wrestler, I want to strike with this guy? What was the mindset behind really putting this together on the feet?
Well, really the game plan with me and my coaches was I was better everywhere. He might be an Olympic silver medalist, but that's just in wrestling. With MMA wrestling, nobody's going to have better MMA wrestling than me. It wasn't going to be a problem. I'm a better grappler. We knew I was better on the feet. So it was pretty much just impose my will on the guy, do whatever. I had to make sure that I got my takedown just to show the fans that, listen, I could take him down whenever I want. I understand he's an Olympic silver medalist, but I'm the better wrestler here. And I did early on in the fight. I took him down very easily. And then I wanted to keep it on the feet just because I really wanted an exciting fight. I was very pumped when I got signed to this promotion. They made a bunch of promises and they understood that they were going to take care of me. And it makes me want to put on even better performances. When the fans are awesome and the organization has very clear communication and that you're going to have good fights and a bunch of fights upcoming, you kind of just are a little bit more motivated for your fights. You're motivated in training camp. So I really wanted to go out there with a bang, dyed my hair. I wanted to have it a stand-up fight because I know that's what the fans want, even though it's a little bit more risky. But I really wanted to go out there and show out, and I wanted to have an absolutely perfect debut, and that's what I did. So the game plan was, obviously, if I need to, go out there and grapple, and I would submit him maybe in the first round. But I wanted to put on a very good show for those fans and that organization. I wanted to put a stamp on my very first fight in the debut, and that's just what I did.
I'm sure Rizin is thrilled with you right now. Like you said, an amazing performance, and you could see all the videos after the fight, how excited the fans were. You've been very complimentary of Rizin, and obviously I know your goal is to become the Rizin world champion and move towards that. Looking back a few years, you had a very dominant performance on the Contender Series, but did not receive the contract because there was some critique on your style and not having the kind of fight that you had at Rizin.
That's their loss, Al. That's their loss.
Their loss, absolutely. Do you feel like maybe there's a chance you may make your way back towards the UFC, win the belt at Rizin, and try and make it happen at the UFC as well in the future?
Yeah, anything's possible. I don't really want right now to go to the UFC or any other organization. I kind of want to be in Rizin. If it were up to me, I would stay in Rizin my entire career. But, a lot of shit happens. One thing that's unpredictable is MMA. You never know what the hell is going to go on in MMA. It seems like each week something new is going on. Some groundbreaking news is going on. But, right now I'm just focused on Rizin. It's the biggest, baddest promotion to me right now. There's not a lot of promotions out there that can get 50,000 fans in an arena. And I don't care what anybody says, whether they want to say that they'll fight in an arena with 0 people or an arena with 50,000 people. I don't care what they say. Everybody would want to fight in front of 50,000 people unless you're a pussy and you don't want to perform for fucking people. But I'm a type of guy that wants as many fans as possible. I want to put on an absolute show. I want to bring entertainment and excitement to everybody. And Rizin is putting 50,000 people in a show. So to me right now, Rizin is the best organization. It's absolutely massive over there in Japan and in Asia. They got another card later this month in South Korea. And I don't think the Americans truly understand how big it is over there in Asia. It kind of just seems untouched right now. Obviously, the UFC is massive. They don't need me. I don't need them. It's possible that I could go to the UFC at some point in my career. I'm not really looking for that right now. I don't see myself looking for that in the future just because I know Rizin's going to take care of me and I want to be the face over there. But again, who knows? It's very possible. UFC, those 3 letters speak for itself. They're massive, they're bad, and they're big. And a lot of people always want to go over there. But for me right now, I want to be the face of Rizin. I want to take over that company. I want to bring it to new heights. And it's already obviously massive. To me, it's the best organization in the world. And I want to bring it even bigger.
Love it.
Danny sold 49,000, 922 seats, Al. Danny doesn't need the UFC. The UFC needs Danny Sabatello, Al. Come on, relax on that.
Yeah, these guys just put on absolutely massive shows for everybody across the world. Obviously, I don't think it's very watched too much in the States just because my card was on at like 3 a.m. Time change is 13 hours ahead over there. So it's kind of hard to market the MMA fans over here. Just how do you tell people to wake up at 3 a.m. or stay up till 3 a.m.? But over there in Asia, it's absolutely massive. And if those fans are going to appreciate me and respect all the fighters, then that's an organization that I want to be a part of. Since I signed with them, they have been nothing but great to me in terms of communication. And that's really all the fighters want is communication. Obviously, they really like me, and I put on a great debut, and they know what I bring to the table. But I haven't heard one bad thing about Rizin in terms of any of the fighters or the fans or really anybody. You'll hear some stuff about some organizations, pretty much all of them. It's very hard to critique or be picky about anything that Rizin does. They're so professional. Everybody has communication in there. And to me, it's just the greatest promotion.
Danny, all they had to do to advertise was put your face on the poster. I think America would have got up easily at 3 a.m. That's an easy thing to do for Mr. Sabatello. 2 questions here from the chat. They go, soccer kicks. Are they allowed in Rizin?
Yep. One thing that I love about Rizin is because that rule set is just the best that there is. We are fighters. You want to have the least amount of rules possible. You want to walk away from watching a fight knowing who the best fighter is. When you bring in rules where, you can't hit him here, you can't do that, then who knows what would have happened in an absolute street fight and an absolute brawl. With Rizin, you could do anything. You could soccer kick. You could do all elbows. You could knee a guy in the head. If you look at my fight after I took down Shinobu Oda, I tried kneeing him in the head while he was down. He kind of blocked it. It kind of nicked him. It would have been a sick knockout. But yes, everything is allowed. And Rizin, we do absolute street fights there. And it's way more exciting too. I'm very excited because me as a grappler, if I take a guy down, I could knee him in the head for my ground and pound. With other organizations and the ones in the States, you're kind of limited on your ground and pound. You can elbow some of them. I don't know if 12-6 is legal here, but it is.
Now it is, yeah.
That's good. That's good. But again, you want to have the least amount of rules possible. Me as a grappler, you guys say you have boring fights with your ground and pound. We'll make everything legal. If I'm on top of a guy, I can knee him in the head. That's exciting for the fans. That's exciting for everybody. So to me, everything should be legal. Rizin does that. All their fights are exciting because even if it is on the ground, what's better than somebody getting kneed in the head, soccer kicked in the head? They also do stomps. If I take a guy down and he's on his back and I'm on the feet, I can jump mad 6 feet up and just stomp his face in the ground. That's going to happen one of these days. So to me, it's the most exciting rule set. And yes, soccer kicks are allowed.
I have a question about the scoring. So I know some of the Asian promotions, they don't score round by round. They score the fight as a whole. Is Rizin the same?
Yep, Rizin scores it as a whole. And I like that too. Sometimes people with their strategy, with the last 15 seconds, you hear they go on their sprint and they try to steal the round. There's none of that. With 15 minutes of fighting, we're going to see who the best fighter is. You got 15 minutes, and we're going to acclimate that in terms of who's better throughout the entire fight. There is no stealing rounds. There's no, okay, he won this round, he won that round. No, this is a fucking fight. You got 15 minutes, and we're going to determine who the winner is. I like that too. There's nothing that Rizin does that I don't like. It's truly just a dream promotion.
I'm becoming a massive fan of Rizin. Just Danny Sabatello needs to just talk on it. Another question from the chat. They go, Danny, how was Tokyo? Did you enjoy the city?
The place is just absolutely insane. I think everybody should visit Tokyo at least once in their life, specifically, just Japan in general. And you don't even have to go there for a fight. Just go to Tokyo or go to Japan, see how nice this place is. There's no garbage on the street. People don't litter. It's super clean. There's no homeless people. The place is absolutely amazing. Everybody is so nice. I think everybody could see that I was American, with my, flashy hair and all that. And if I was out asking for directions or whatever, everybody was so polite. Everybody was so nice. And they weren't just treating me differently just because I'm a fighter and I'm a star over there. I just see the way they interact with people. Everybody's super nice, very helpful. Obviously, the people are just some of the best people in the world, but their architecture, the technology, everything over there, they have it absolutely down. It's the cleanest place in the world. Everybody is so nice. There's no murder. There's none of that stuff. It's really just an absolutely terrific place.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's on my list. I already have an itinerary plan for Japan. So maybe Grant and I will have to plan it for another Danny Sabatello.
It's just such a unique place. There's just no place like it. Obviously, the food is good. Everybody loves sushi. Everything is so clean over there. No one's really fat over there. They don't do the bullshit with these ingredients. They don't even have Gatorade or Propel or Powerade over there. It's pretty wild. It's a great place. Very clean eating. Very, very fresh fish. Obviously, the Kobe beef is insane. There's really not too much to bag on the place.
Did you get to spend quite a bit of time? Like, did you get to explore before the fight, or were you kind of locked in? Obviously, tough weight cut.
I try to treat these fights as a business trip. This is an absolute hit job. I don't even stay after my fights. A lot of people do that, and that's great on them. I don't even want to think about that. I don't want my mind wandering in fight camp of, what's some of the stuff that I want to do after the fight. This isn't a vacation to me. This is go over there, beat the absolute fuck out of this Olympian, and then return home. I will go back there. I talked to the promotion. I want them to kind of give me recommendations to kind of hook it up at some point for a vacation for me when I'm not fighting over there. But in terms of going over there, I don't want to go over there early and, sightsee and, check all this stuff out. No, with my fighting, I want to treat it as a fight. And that should be all on your mind with the fight camp. Obviously, you need your releases and all that. But I don't want to get carried away in my fight camps and my traveling being a vacation. It's a hit job.
That's for sure. Danny, a couple more minutes and we're going to have to let you run, my man. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time like always. We have another teammate of yours coming on here in a couple minutes. But I had one last question for you, if you don't mind. You said earlier something about you guys kind of came all together and everyone was backstage. Did you see your next victim? Did you see the next person that will get smashed by Danny Sabatello? Was he there in place? Was he not? Was he too coward to even come to the Tokyo Dome because of your presence? I want to know, did you see your next, prey?
Well, he is a coward. He's a pussy, and he's also a bitch. But I didn't see him. I guess he was inside the arena. I want Naoki Inoue. He's the current champion of the division, and I'm the champion of the division. After the fight, I've been It's kind of funny. I was working on my Japanese for about a month. I was having Rinya and Kyoji help me with my Japanese. I was even over there, and Rinya and Kyoji were WhatsApping me on what to say, and I was working on it, and I absolutely butchered it after the fight. But then I tried saying it in English, and I was calling out Naoki Inoue. I was telling him that I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Supposedly, he was in attendance, and he was in the audience. But I didn't really get to see him. He wasn't on the fight card or anything like that. But ideally, to me, he is next. I think I've earned a title shot over there. But we'll just see. I told Rizin, if not a title fight, that's fine. I'll fight 20, 30, 40, 50 more guys in order to earn myself a title shot. Doesn't matter to me. All these guys are going to be absolutely fucked. But I want Naoki Inoue.
The Rizin better give you the champion right away. They don't want you run through the whole roster. You get the whole roster out of there. They should not do that. They should get challengers for you, give you the champion right away. Danny Sabatello, the absolute man. Mr. Rizin, literally 49,826 people were there in the Tokyo Dome to see Mr. Sabatello, the Italian gangster, live. Congratulations on the win. And any last words? I don't want to take it away from you.
I didn't know if you know, is Juan Archuleta still on the Rizin roster?
I don't believe he is. I know he had maybe a couple fights over there. And I think lately he's been fighting at featherweight at 145. But I don't believe he's on the roster. Maybe he is, but I think he's up a weight anyways.
Gotcha. I was going to say, if he is still on the roster, that's definitely a fight I would be interested to see between the two of you. Didn't know if he was on your radar at all, but makes sense.
I'm just obsessed with the Rizin belt. I want that next, but in general, I want all these fucking guys. I want to beat the shit out of all of them, but I want them all to be title defenses. I need to get the belt ASAP just because that Rizin belt is so sweet, but they're all going to be up.
Absolutely.
Mr. Rizin himself, Danny Sabatello. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Let's talk soon again, my man. Always appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. Whatever you guys need. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
There you go. Danny
All right,
Sabatello. What a monster. What a stud. Mr. Rizin. Sold